void. She's here for you tonight. Give it up for Elisa Lurkis.
All right, one of the many reasons I love Al is he just called me young. So yeah, Elisa here, Jewish mom in the house. Since it's a Friday night, allow me to say Shabbat Shalom. We got any Jews here tonight? Okay, it's what I suspected. In North Park, people are not willing to admit it publicly anymore. That's okay. You guys are safe. Don't worry about it. So we just celebrated the high Jewish holidays. We just celebrated Rosh Hashanah, which is our Jewish New Year. When you think about the Christian New Year, the one we celebrate on December 31st, we think about champagne and balloons and confetti. You know what we get for the Jewish New Year? Apples and honey. Because you know what? Nothing says celebration quite like a preschool snack pack. And then 10 days later, we celebrate our Day of Atonement on Yom Kippur, where we fast for the entire day. Christians get New Year, new me. Jews get New Year, no food. So I've been married for 30 years. It's a long time period. When I first met my husband, I had never seen anybody so handsome. I thought for sure he had to have been my soulmate. But thinking back on it now, I think maybe I was just horny. And you know what? That's a feeling I only vaguely remember. I remember the moment when I realized he might not be my soulmate after all. It was the moment when he uttered the words, "My favorite book of all time is Lord of the Rings." Which makes sense, because I look like a hobbit. Okay, you guys laughed a little too hard. I thought, oh no, what? This could have been a huge mistake. What was supposed to be like a romantic journey suddenly turned into a 12-hour trilogy where nobody has sex and everybody talks in riddles. Somehow we got through it anyway. Have any of you ever been hit on by somebody who tried to compliment you about something you didn't know you had and didn't particularly want? I have. So when I was just about to graduate from college, I was sitting at a bus stop and I was so excited. I knew I was going to graduate. And a man came up and he sat down next to me and he kept looking at me and I was just trying to ignore him, just, staying in my joy. And he kept looking at me. Finally, the bus came, and as I stood up, he said to me, "That's a real sexy little mustache you've got there." And I said, "I'm sorry, what?" He said, "I like a lady with a little mustache." I said, "You need to work on your pickup lines." And I got on the bus. But all these years later, I thought if I ever became a comedian and I got lucky enough to go on tour, I was going to call it the Sexy Little Mustache Tour. And in fact, I have stickers that say that. So if you want one, come see me after the show, and I will happily give them to you. So for that particular circumstance and many other reasons, this is why I love gay men. I was raised by a gay dad, and I have 2 sons, one straight, one gay. I love both of my sons equally, even though one of them is straight. Yeah, it was fine growing up with a gay dad. He was a lovely man. He died way too young. He did his best. But let me tell you something that no father should ever say to his daughter. After she has just given birth to her first child, he should never, under any circumstances, say to her, "Don't forget to do your Kegels." Because that's what he said to me, and I have not stopped barfing since. So one of my closest friends is a trans woman. We were close while she was living as a man, and we're even closer now that she has transitioned to become a woman and recently had bottom surgery. She told me that trying to memorize the names of the different parts of the vagina was confusing. For example, there's the labia majora and the labia minora. What is the labia minora? I mean, as a Jewish mom, when I hear the word menorah, I think of Hanukkah. And then I just wonder if maybe some biblical vagina burned for 8 days and 8 nights. I mean, talk about a burning bush. Thank you, I'm Elisa Lurkis.